It's close to harvest season in Pettis County, Missouri.
So the heat's really working on the corn, drying it down.
David Gherkin has a lot of time to think. In the farm fields near Lamont, he's worked for decades.
We got the potential for an excellent bean crop yet.
He's concerned what might be destroyed if a landfill goes in just down the road.
I think about it every day, and maybe a few days you get off your mind and something comes up, and it's just, you know, it's total quiet, peaceful out here most of the time. And you know what a landfill's doing. They're dumping trash in there every day. They've got excavators running.
Gherkin owns a farm north of a proposed new landfill site in Pettis County. It's less than 10 miles northwest of the current landfill in Sedalia, which Missouri's Department of Natural Resources says will fill up in the next 10 years.
Trying to get things, head start on things for harvest.
Gherkin has seen that landfill grow tall. He's documented 2 fires there. He doesn't want any of those issues near his home.
There's like hundreds of buzzards flying up over that fire. I guess they was down there and the smoke was getting them. So they was wanting out of there too.
It will be years before he ever even sees the site. No traffic will go by his house.
Developer Derek Stanley wants to permit the new landfill just south of Gherkin's farm. He says it would take waste from central Missouri and a portion of the Kansas City area. He also says the landfill site is remote and out of the way below where anyone could see it from 50 Highway.
I mean, so affects him how? I mean, realistically, how does it affect him?
Smells,
No,
thinking about fires.
He's not going to have to worry about odor. That's not a realistic concern from the remoteness of this facility.
Stanley is quick to point out how the landfill is the last defense for the environment to ensure clean drinking water by cutting down on litter. And as for any fires,
that is an occurrence that occurs on whether it be a transfer station, whether it be a disposal facility, or whether it be at Walmart or Target. We have ion lithium batteries that are can become unpredictable.
Stanley says landfill managers are trained to deal with those fires. He's also trying in court to defend his right to build the facility after Pettis County last year passed an ordinance to restrict future landfill development.
I'm more worried about the oversaturation of landfills in one geographic region.
Residents have formed a group called Pettis County First, opposing the new landfill.
What I would try to encourage is that more counties are in charge of their own.
Some residents believe multi-million-dollar trash companies have targeted Pettis County to bring trash from hundreds of miles away.
And I think that because the county is not zoned, that they see an ample or a quick opportunity to go ahead and bring the trash into Pettis County.
If we don't have to collect it from 11 or 12 different counties, we're going to last a lot longer with our existing landfill, or even the creation of one if we had to, and let everybody take care of their own.
At Pettis County's current Sedalia landfill, much of that trash is hauled from the Kansas City Metro. An hour and a half away, it arrives on semis similar to those KABC has documented spilling trash onto highways.
Our highway is littered with trash from one side to the other.
Pettis County Presiding Commissioner Bill Taylor says 50 Highway has become a trash corridor. He wants Kansas City to take care of its own waste and not ship it to his county.
We're afraid that when these large cities and these larger counties can push back because they have planning and zoning, they're going to shove all the trash out to us rural counties. We don't want it either.
They're capable of developing and building multi-million-dollar baseball stadiums. They're able to do the same thing for football stadiums. Okay, take care of your own infrastructure too.
I feel like we should be responsible for our own trash and be responsible for the trucks that haul them, and hauling them farther away is irresponsible.
Developer Jenny Monheiser is ready to build that new multi-million-dollar landfill in South Kansas City. She owns the Mark II Waste Transfer Station in Kansas City, Missouri.
Good afternoon. The committee meeting on local government and elections is now in session.
She testified before a Missouri Senate committee in April.
It wasn't blindly that we were investing in this.
Saying her proposed landfill site in South Kansas City is the solution for Kansas City's trash problem for decades to come.
We have a trash problem here in our region, and if we don't get a hold of it quickly, then we're going to be in a spot where we're going to have an even bigger catastrophic problem.
But you don't have to look far around the southern part of the metro to see Monheiser's proposal is not popular, with people saying there's not an immediate need, like she says.
I am frightened
every day for the children of our community.
Residents around South Kansas City and Raymore voicing their opinions at a meeting to discuss a study on Kansas City's regional landfill needs.
So the amount of skepticism in this room is at a level 10.
We're always looking for the space where there's a win-win.
How do you define your study area?
We do know that at the moment some waste goes to Sedalia, some goes to out by Lawrence.
So I guess what I'm wondering is there hope? Should we be boarding up our windows? Or is there hope that this environmental hurricane will pass?
There was a woman who compared this landfill to an environmental hurricane. Would you agree with that?
I would emphatically disagree with that. Again, we are still gathering data, but there is no science that we've gotten so far to say that this is going to be a hazard environmentally or to anyone's health in the community.
What I can tell you is this particular location is across the street from a grade school. This is not the location. 2 miles upstream from Longview Lake is not the location. In the middle of existing neighborhoods, it's not it.
South Kansas City resident Rick Myers is leading a group of neighbors dead set to prove the environmental hazards of a landfill so close, knowing the community is already suffering.
And it needs to be done right.
Mackenzie Clark Thomas said her family and others have already felt the mental health strain of a new potential landfill. Like thousands of her neighbors, she doesn't want the landfill anywhere in South Kansas City. Clark Thomas also said she sympathizes with the people of Pettis County.
I don't want it anywhere. I don't want it in my backyard. I don't want it in your backyard. I don't want it in the farmers. I don't want it with my family farm in Sikeston, Missouri. I don't want it in St. Louis. I don't want it anywhere. But if it has to go somewhere, where is it less impactful to the people? How are we protecting the people?
Monheiser believes her landfill will not harm people around South Kansas City.
We're hopeful that we can give facts to the community, which then those parents could relay that to their kids. And again, if this was going to be an unsafe place, if it is proven to be an unsafe place for a landfill, we have no desire to put it here.
Is this site a better solution than the South Kansas City landfill site?
Well, we feel like it is.
Developer Derek Stanley believes his spot in Pettis County will impact the least amount of people. Stanley reiterated very few neighbors would even see the landfill here, even trying to ease concerns about a rail line being close.
Is that part of the plan to bring in trash from other parts of the nation to this site?
Absolutely not.
Stanley mentioned he's offered the community a written host agreement to make sure it doesn't happen, saying his site can help with Kansas City's trash for decades to come.
This site wouldn't be intended to be the solution for Kansas City. It's a part of the solution.
And that'd be out of mind, out of sight for the people in Lee Summit who don't want one in Raymore. But we don't want it all either.
We're not asking to truck it somewhere else. We're just asking to preserve our land values, to preserve our quality of life, and have a future for Pettis County for our children.
People's lives get so busy and they don't pay attention to what, is coming in around them. And if we don't have an effort to try to stop this now, we're going to end up with a mess, I think.
It's very simple to.
Along with county neighbors, David Gerken says he sympathizes with the people fighting the landfill in South Kansas City and Raymore and Lee Summit.
We're the same type of people here that they are. This isn't our backyard. We're the same as they are. We don't want it in our backyard either. So it's time to me, the legislatures have been kicking this can down the road long enough. They need to look into an alternative.
If the big cities and people in rural areas don't want to deal with trash, where do we go from here?
The environmentalists and the cities and the state, they've got to get together and figure that out because it's not going to get better.
Because somebody's going to have to make a decision because it's going to have to go somewhere.